Hey guys, it is Friday, so you know what time it is. It is time for the Retro Buzz, and we have with us in his half put together arcade room. There's a big
But
box
it's
back there. What is that?
clean like a mother.
Is that box back there to ship you off to Zimbabwe or something?
Actually, this box here is
Oh, that's sitting on your
just.
desk. I thought that was
It
way in
is.
the back.
No, I know it's kind of hard to tell nowadays, right? No,
Yeah.
it just arrived today. It is the version 2 of the GRS Star Wars Joke. I haven't even taken out of the box yet. But this one comes out on Amazon. Should be $199 versus the 265 we had. So we're trying to get the price down. When prices are going up, GRS is bringing the prices down.
Nice. Wow, that was a good optical illusion, honest to God, because I didn't see it in pre-show. And I'm sitting
Maybe
here
I should take
going,
that
wait
on
a
a
second,
date.
where'd
Maybe,
that come from?
maybe I could bring this desk on a date. Makes things out of proportion. Is that what you're trying to say?
All
Bigger
right,
than it appears.
on that note, yeah, we've got Mr. Doug. How you doing, sir?
Salutations.
It's good to
I love Glenn's crazy car dealership, chopping prices. I love that spiel.
That's it.
Please keep that
That's
up.
it. We're going to
Yeah.
bring prices down when prices go up. And in the next 30 days, the GRS Discs of Tron spinner will be available as well. So
Wow.
that's coming out too. You push it,
Very
you pull it.
nice.
Just don't show your mother when you're doing it.
Wait, that sounds like that. What was that? Bop
Bop
it?
it?
Yeah, when he's
Bop
like
it.
push
Push
it, pull it.
pull it. I mean, yeah, it's got suggestive innuendo no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. So we've got Papa Brad here in the chat. We've got Todd. We've got RB. We've got Paul, Ronsky, Michael B. or Mitchell B. Excuse me. Your average gamer. Guys, welcome. You can feel free to put it in there. Well, we've got a bunch of destinations going here tonight, so bear with us. We're going to do our best to keep up with everybody.
It's pandemonium today.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's good pandemonium. So, and if you guys are interested, I know there's a few of you that picked it up. This is going to be the last week. If you want to order one of these nice embroidered hats, you can get one. I'm not trying to peddle it, but I just want to make sure before I order it, because it's made to order and I'm not stocking anything, that everybody had the opportunity that wants one. I'm selling them at cost. I'm making zero money on it. So I had a few guys that were like,
"That's a very bad business decision."
Why?
I'm just at a cost.
Well, I'm just doing it because there are a few guys that were like, "Hey, that's a really nice hat." I bought it for myself for like trade shows and stuff, and I had guys like, "Are you gonna sell them?" Like, I wasn't planning on it, and so I thought, well, I'll put it out there. So
It is actually a quite handsome hat, if I do say so myself.
the embroidery is really good for the cost and what they did. Yeah, kind of like your hat there. It's embroidered. And Doug's, we never know if his is embroidered because you don't wear it.
I was about to say, you should see the sponsorships I got going on the back of this hat. I mean, it's like a straight up NASCAR vest and jacket. I got 20 different logos on the back of it. Shout out to all my sponsors that you can see on the back of the hat.
Yeah, I have Cash App set up, so if you go to my profile, you'll find the QR code. Just I think it's like $30 or something like that. Put it in there, and then when I make the order, I'll ship them out. Make sure you include your address, please, so I know where to send it.
Helpful detail.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a donation.
Yeah, no, and I'll make sure everybody gets their. But I will tell you, if you go to Embroiderized Creation on Facebook, if you're looking to get your own branded hats, they do a phenomenal job. They're out of Tennessee, and like I said, they do not supercharge you. And like Glenn, you were saying, in the world of everything going up, like I've gotten polos from them for $17 with the embroidery. Now you do pay a $50 digitizing fee for your logo, but that's a one and done deal. Once they got your logo digitized, then you're good. They can put it on sweatshirts, hats. My outdoor brand, I actually got one that, you know how much embroidery costs, but they did like the whole logo across the front. I bet you it's probably like 15 inches by like 4.
To say, I'm a man, so I have actually no idea how much embroidery would cost. Just putting it out there.
Oh, that's sexist, Glenn. You know
Thank you,
darn
Doug.
good
I
and well
appreciate it.
that all the people that are embroidering these are 8-year-old children in Singapore or,
Ouch.
Vietnam or all these other countries.
Doug,
Yeah,
So it's
I would think it'd
sexist
be
for you to say
easier.
that men can't appreciate and be knowledgeable of the fine art that is embroidery.
Well, I can appreciate it. I have no idea what it would cost because, I'm a guy. Just putting it out there.
and because Glenn doesn't pay for anything.
Yeah.
I don't.
P-Dubs wants to know if you will accept Bitcoin, Stephen, for purchase of your hat.
I don't
The
think so
specific hat
because
you're wearing, not any that you have in stock, just the one that's on your head right now.
No, I want to keep the one I'm wearing.
Okay.
I like the one I'm wearing. No, I'm not set up to take Bitcoin or anything like that. But, guys, we're gonna try to get this back on track here. Doug put together a nice list of topics here tonight. And do you want to start with class of '81? Does that sound good?
Sure. Yeah, we can start with that.
All right.
So, yeah, Arcade 1UP finally accepted pre-orders for their class of '81 arcade machine. It was originally supposed to go up for pre-order in August, according to Arcade 1UP, and obviously things change as they always do with Arcade 1UP. But it finally went up for pre-order. The price probably a little higher than most people were expecting, $599, but it's available at all your standard GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, Arcade 1UP directly, and some other retailers like Deep Discount, Adorama. Basically, any normal big box retailer, they're offering it. But $599, you get that classic 1981 class of 1981 cabinet. Unfortunately, it does not use the actual arcade ROM from back in the day, which had a hidden Pac-Man access. So yet again, Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man are still having irreconcilable differences, and they are not together on this cabinet. So if you were still hoping for that dream cabinet where you get Miss and Mr. Pac-Man together, it's not going to happen on this one.
Well, you never know. That does support firmware updates, does it not?
It does. So, I mean, sure, technically, hopefully, fingers crossed, later on down the line, you could get a firmware update from Arcade 1UP that could potentially patch that with the arcade ROM. I mean, that's all you'll have to do, though, is wish and hope, because there's no guarantee or promise of that. And even if that is guaranteed or promised later on down the line, you don't know how long you'll have to wait for that, because it was 6+ months for the pinball firmware update to actually come out. So, I mean, it could be the same thing. They could give you a Christmas present this year. Hey, you just got your machine in November. Merry Christmas. Here's a firmware update, December 25th that gives you that arcade ROM. You never know what they're going to do. Only they know what, yeah. Only they know what the plans are.
I don't think they can do it, though, because they just put out the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man, so they don't want to undercut their revenue by putting it on here or adding the actual arcade ROM. But
some things are very, very sneaky out there.
I was just going to say that's what Angel's saying here in the chat room. So, but guys,
me and Angel always on the same.
But $600. I mean, again, I know I'm complaining about the price here again. I know, and I'm probably going to get eaten alive by it. But do you guys really think that cabinet's worth $600? I mean, really?
Honestly,
worth that?
For that cabinet, it's not the wood cost. There is shipping costs, but I personally do think that's awfully high for those two games with the standard cabinet. Again, prices go up. I'm having a hard time getting stuff over here myself. The shipping prices are high, but I do think even with licensing fees and everything else, when you consider that the old cabinets were $299, $349 for those type of games,
$499 I would do, and I know that's even high, but
very high.
Doug, I mean $499. Could you see that maybe, or $399?
Well, I mean, so the problem with this is, obviously comparing apples to apples is not possible. The closest thing you can do is compare it to previous releases, and thank God, or not thank God, Arcade 1UP has released a bevy of Pac-Man cabinets in the past. So that's the biggest issue with this, is you look at the game, you look at the price, you look at the game lineup, and you look at previous Pac-Man releases from Arcade 1UP. Specifically, let's look at the Bandai Namco Legacy cabinet that also had 12 games, $399. This one's $599. You look at the games listing, it's not too crazy different. I mean, so you're really at that point able to kind of like dissect games and going, okay, I'm paying $25 for this game that's over 30 years old, that's not even an A title, and I'm paying $30 for this title if you break it down that way. So if you really compare what they've already put out there in the market, it really makes the value of this not good at all. Obviously, there'll be people, though, that aesthetically just want this and they're willing to pay any price because they have a personal connection to it. I mean, there's always going to be that consumer regardless. We've already seen people with Killer Instinct. I've seen tons of people in the message board say, I don't care. I'll pay any price they ask for Killer Instinct, just because people have that personal connection. is there cheaper ways to play these games? Absolutely. Can you play these on other arcade devices that other companies are selling? Sure. Can you do it for cheaper? Absolutely. But, I don't think anybody's really under the impression that this is the only way to play these games, but whatever reason, they will choose to spend that money, whether it's personal reasons or they just have more money than a lot of other people.
But
or they're Michael B. the Game Genie.
but guys, like
Yeah.
Jamie's saying here, we asked for no stools. We wanted it, for cheaper price, but we also wanted ones with stools, not us, but the community. You don't take away the stool and keep the price the same. That doesn't work like that. That's not what we're like. I like the aesthetics of this machine. If I knew I could sell my cabinet, my Miss Pac-Man, and my Galaga cabinet for $200 each, that's $400 toward this cabinet. I would pay the additional $200 and buy this at that price.
So you can condense.
So I can condense. That's the only reason. I mean, it's a good-looking machine. Don't get me wrong, but it's not
it's a hard
$600.
Because I really like that Miss Pac-Man cabinet. I love
I do too.
On the side. So I mean, this cabinet's nice looking, but it's each person's gonna be different. I would rather keep the Miss Pac-Man cabinet and the Galaga cabinet for their looks versus this combined, even though you'll be saving some space.
But like these guys are saying in the chat room, I've been pulling these up, and I'm sure your chat rooms are saying, like, they could buy 2 cabinets for the price of not even one of the $599. They're doing it for $500.
Yeah, and that's your average gamers in my chat saying that's crazy to be that price at the cost without the stool. So you can't really say, oh, they're bundling all this stuff that we don't need and it's jacked up the price. It's not really a bundle here. I mean, it's the cabinet and the riser. It's what you're getting.
I mean, we're not hating on Arcade One Up, and I know everybody's saying like, oh, price, but we got to think about value here. Like, what else are you offering? You offering not saying that this would be worth it, but Arcade One Up, are you throwing in a free sweatshirt for some of these diehards that are, for that kind of a price, or something exclusive like you did with Marvel? You're not. So
no, and that was always my biggest complaint with the direct order from Arcade One Up is there's no incentive to order directly from Arcade One Up. They're not even giving you a keychain or a sticker. In most cases, you're paying even more to order directly from Arcade One Up. You're not getting it faster than anybody else. You're not getting any kind of SKU differences. Like there's no bells and whistles on that machine that's different than the retail version. I mean, and you're paying shipping on top of it. So more often than not, I mean, it actually does the consumer worse to directly support the brand. The only thing it really does is directly add to their revenue because they don't have to cut in the the middleman with the retailer, so they can get more profit. Which, I mean, if you want to successfully support Arcade One Up to the best of your ability and pad their pockets, then yeah, absolutely go direct and order through Arcade One Up. But for like a basic consumer instinct of, hey, I want to get the best bang for my buck, it doesn't make any sense. And that's why I really wish Arcade One Up would change something about their direct ordering system. Like I said, I don't care if you throw in a Pac-Man air freshener, just do something different than your retailers. Otherwise it just looks bad. And
let's just say this for the record, none of us three are saying we want any of these add-on items. We're just saying, like, looking at the consensus of everybody, like, give it, like Doug's saying, give somebody an incentive to buy it directly from you at that ridiculous price.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, right there, it was just written right down there by Rubicon Alpha. The At Game Legends is $4.99. Now, again, that's a multicade. Does give you a huge amount of value for what you get, but it doesn't have the aesthetic. It depends. You want that machine, like Doug said before, that brings back that nostalgia tug where you'll spend that kind of money. But it's a hard pill to swallow at $5.99 when you get a multicade that can do pinball and many other things for $4.99, and it's bigger to boot.
Doug, I know we have this kind of like in an order, but I wanted to kind of jump around a little bit and go to the other Arcade One Up so we can get Arcade One Up out of the way.
I was going to suggest that too, specifically since we're already on the topic.
Yeah, so that way. But go ahead and lead us off on this one, and I'll get everything pulled up here for you.
So the long-standing joke is the consumers want more Pac-Man machines from Arcade One Up because it's one thing Arcade One Up has failed to deliver enough of. But lo and behold, this morning QVC in partnership with Arcade One Up unveiled 3 new special edition countercades. They're all branded with 40th anniversary skin on the artwork, and then there's a certificate of authenticity limited to 3,200 each. But yeah, Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man, 2 games on each one. No light up marquee. Just kind of a bare bones, back to basics countercade when they're already unveiling their new 2-player countercades. That's really what they're pushing. Oh, sorry, the Pac-Man has a 4,200. I looked at a different one and it said 3,200, so I made the incorrect assumption that they were all 3,200. But apparently QVC has a lot of these to sell. But the going price right now is $120. I know if you use the coupon code, I think it's holiday 10, you'll save another $10, or maybe it's just holiday. But you can save another $10 if you really
it's just holiday. Yeah,
that's a little more reasonable.
I mean, it is. But at this point in
I'm not about that kid's haircut, but the rest is okay.
it just goes to show, like, here's the thing with this. The struggle is like we made the joke that Arcade 1-Up, they haven't released enough Pac-Man. Like, at this point in time, like, how many people haven't got their hands on some sort of Pac-Man product that if they wanted one? Like,
you got to think about it like this, Doug. If you don't go to Arizona or California and dig up ET and see Arcade 1-Up Pac-Mans next to it, they're okay. Once they start dumping them in a landfill next to Atari ETs, then they're okay. But it is a lot. But people are still buying them. And to be quite honest, if there is an overabundance of them, they'll start coming in a flash sale at some point if people can get them, cheaper. And then that might do better than the baby cage.
But I think that price point is high. I think that price point is good for them. But I'll say this: I bought 2 of them at that price point, the Galaga and the Miss Pac-Man. And Angel did the awesome job on the marquee, so I'm not worried about the light up if I did decide to do that. But my daughter, I gave her the Miss Pac-Man to put in her room. She said, "Dad, can I put it in my room?" Because I was trying to make room. I'm like, yeah. So she has it. So she has like a little mini arcade up there with just that. And
nice.
Yeah. The Galaga is upstairs in our playroom. So when the nieces and nephews come over, and I don't really want them on the big ones because they pull themselves up by the joysticks, they can play the little Galaga machine.
But honestly, $119, and like Doug said, with putting in the code, getting another $10 off, that's not a hard pill to swallow, and it's probably a good Christmas gift to nieces and nephews. Bring them around. It'll be okay, as long as the screen is pretty good. Because some of those screens have a really bad viewing angle.
True. Mm-hmm.
So Angel says something here. Let me see if I would like. What did he say here? I would like all countercades come disassembled just to have the fun of building them. I don't know. Those things are a pain in the butt to put together, to be quite honest with you. They're
the
so
smaller
small.
You make it, the harder it is, especially with adult-sized hands.
Yeah.
I know anytime my wife buys anything from IKEA, I start cursing at the sky because it's not fun.
I'm biting my tongue on that one.
I just saw a rumor. Arcade 1-Up's going to bring out another Pac-Man cabinet next week.
Oh, that's not a rumor. I mean, you can bet on it that there will be more Pac-Man. In fact, I can tell you that there's going to be more Pac-Man. There's some more partycades coming that have yet to be.
Oh, wonderful!
There's some new Pac-Man 10 game-in-1. There's a Galaga 10 game-in-1. There's a Defender partycade. So there's a couple more things in the works that will be showing up very soon. Let's put it that way.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the prices are on those party. Yeah.
Moving on.
Let's jump into Irkade here, and then before we get to my favorite stories that are coming a little later. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Irkade. What do we got, Doug?
So we'll just start with bad news first, and then we'll go to better news. The bad news this week is John on the Tuesday stream. Jong, excuse me. Had to make the unfortunate announcement that Mutant League Football has been indefinitely postponed. There's an issue with the third-party software on the Irkade side of things. Jong said Irkade has pushed that company to work towards resolving the issue, and unfortunately, they're just not getting any traction. So they made the tough decision to just kind of push it off to the side until they can get that company to really, sit down and do the work necessary to get an issue resolved, because right now they're just spinning in place, and it's taking up a lot of resources unnecessarily. So they're going to redirect those resources. But at the end of the day, you can still purchase the custom Irkade Mutant League Football arcade until October 1st. And after that point, they won't sell it any longer. And of course, when it does ship to you, it won't have Mutant League Football on it as of right now, just because it is indefinitely postponed. So he was very apologetic. Obviously, I do appreciate his candor. Yeah, you could tell. I mean, this was a big get for them. This was their big E3 announcement. They had a big party, a big show about it, and it was great. Everybody's excited about it. I personally was excited about it. We were hoping to have it by now with football season kicking off, but unfortunately things happen, and I do appreciate him being open and honest and communicating with the consumers, saying, hey, this is what happened. We tried to fix it. We did everything we can. We just can't fix it now. Instead of just not being honest with you, let's just say, hey,
or releasing something that's not good. I mean, Jung wants to release something that is
you don't want to
proper.
release it, and oh, by the way, you can only play 3 quarters out of the 4-quarter game or something. Instead, I'm not sure what the issue is, but it's obviously enough to cause them to pump the brakes. So that was the downside.
It's a testament to Irkade and Zhang that he cares about the product. He cares about the user experience. He definitely felt bad about it. It was out of his hands, but he's not going to release something that is not right on his machine. And that's a good thing to have with a company. Release it when it's right.
So do you think that's going to cannibalize the cabinet? I mean, because honestly, like, I'm not a big Mutant League football fan anyways, but I can't see why, unless somebody's really a diehard, to buy that cabinet skin when you could get like Retromania Wrestling or
that's why I said
Dragon's Lair
until October 1st to buy it. Like, it's obviously a very niche consumer to begin with that wanted that, and since it doesn't come with a game on it, which was the main selling point, similar to the other custom cabinets like Retromania Wrestling and Dragon's Lair and all that type of thing, if it doesn't come with a game on it, then you're just looking at a machine that looks the part but doesn't walk the part, so to speak. So they're well aware that it's no longer going to be appealing, and that's why they're going to pull it off the store. But they wanted to let everybody know, if you do want it, you can still get the discount price and everything, and you've got until October 1st.
Yeah, Arcade Amy in the chat room here, I'm going to pull that comment up really quick here. She said the CEO said that he did not want to say what the bug was because people who have never even played it would make fun of him. So that kind of tells me that it sounds like it's really something stupid. Like, why couldn't they just fix it just so he could get it on the cabinet? Not Irkade, but whatever the company is.
Yeah, I don't work in game development, software design, or any of that stuff. So I mean, anything that is wrong with the game or wrong with the software side of things, like, it's all over my head. So like, I'm not even gonna try to stand on a high horse and say how silly they look. I can't believe they couldn't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking at it like that.
Is it even that, or is it just developer doesn't want to put the resources to it? I mean,
that's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded
like. The developer just didn't want to put the effort in to make the change for it.
So
that's what I got.
Again, I used to be a really huge football fan growing up. Like, I still watch football, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not. When they started really getting political, that's when I kind of pulled back, because it's like, I don't watch football to deal with politics. If you want to watch politics,
this is why this is right up your alley. A spoof on football.
Well, that's why I was wondering, wouldn't it be better? And I think the chat room might agree with this, to go after, say, like NFL Blitz on the Irkade and make an actual cabinet of that, as opposed to, say, Mutant League football? Or do you think that the draw is more there for the Mutant League football game?
I don't think anybody is under the impression that Mutant League football is going to be a bigger draw than NFL Blitz. The obvious reason that people would go towards NFL Blitz, or Mutant League football versus NFL Blitz, is because there's massive issues with licensing and partnership with NFL Blitz. I mean, there's obvious hurdles that are going to take a lot of extra work to get over. It's not for a lack of trying, obviously. If Irkade wanted to, or had the possibility to, they would go after NFL Blitz first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, I was just curious.
Said it was something on the Irkade side, so maybe I heard it wrong.
Yeah, and Papa Brad's Gaming said his feelings were hurt for sure. At least he didn't cry on camera. Like, it's got to be tough, because, I mean, whenever you make an announcement, like, let's just be honest, when you've got, like, any of these companies that say they're going to bring out a product. We've watched Arcade 1-Up fall on the sword a few times. We've watched At Games fall on the sword a few times. It's going to happen, and it's not anything. I mean, we're living in an unpredictable time right now, that if you think that all these companies are just going to be able to do everything, you can't control the future. I mean, it would be great. I mean, and there's still hope. Knowing Jong, he doesn't give up very easily. So I think he's just trying to be safe than sorry. It's better to over under promise and over deliver than it is to over promise and under deliver. And I think that's where he's at right now. I think we're going to see, he might come out in 3 months and say, hey guys, we got it fixed. It's going to be coming. It's downloadable. I don't know, but you guys heard that there's going to be a huge announcement coming up this week, right? You did hear that with Irkade.
I did. I'm very excited about it. Obviously we can't really talk too much in detail about it, but it is
you want to tune in.
Yeah, you want to tune in. It is a genre that I'm a huge fan of, and it's a game a lot of people are going to be happy with.
It's fantastic. Oh, it's TurboGrafx, really. I spelled
Don't. We told John we weren't going to say nothing. We just said that.
Well, we still how big a fan Doug is of TurboGrafx 16 over the Genesis, so I figured.
He said for us to tell everybody to make sure they tune in. That they'd be super happy, and I think they're going to be really happy personally. But that's just me. I see some Dallas Cowboy fans in here, so it's about time my boys showed up. I'm always feeling alone in here.
So you should. So you should.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah.
Get out of here. All right, we we have another. Well, let's get the super chat here from Console Fanboy. We appreciate that. What does he say here? He says they're brand new. They will make mistakes, and that's normal. These mistakes will only make them stronger in the long run. Which, yeah, I mean that's the reality.
The big thing is that mistakes happen. It's how they deal with it. And he was very open about it. John and Irkade is very open to the community, and he takes the positives in style, and he'll take his licks with style.
Yep.
The important thing is that he expressed it versus pushing under the rug.
Yeah, that's what I appreciate most, and we've said this to At Games too. That was both companies, like even in the beginning, we said if you're honest with your audience, they will appreciate that more than you ignoring it and pretending that it doesn't exist.
Absolutely.
And it's showing. So
like
can we get on? Can we get on to my favorite console and next to the PS5 and Glenn's favorite console that he hasn't taken out of the box yet? Can we talk about that now?
Absolutely.
What console is that? The
Nintendo Switch. So this is actually
that little thing.
Yeah, this is actually a new get for Irkade. This was a Nintendo Switch game that came out earlier in the year, but Knights and Guns. So two things that don't necessarily go hand in hand when you think about it, but knights, typically you think, oh yeah, sword wielding gentlemen of the medieval time, but no, we got basically Metal Gear Slug.
No, vertical. Metal Slug, because that's why I want this game.
Oh yeah, not Metal Gear, excuse me. Yeah, Metal Slug Vertical. That's the best way I can describe this, because instead of being a side scroller, this is a vertical shooter. Lots and lots to do. There's a campaign mode, there's a horde mode / endless mode, whatever you want to call it, where you just keep playing waves and waves and waves until you eventually fall victim to the evildoers. But yeah, 32 weapons, all sorts of different skins. Looks great. It's a visual, aesthetic achievement, so to speak, and it's going to be sensory overload for a lot of people, and I'm sure it'll sound great on the Irkade. So just came out today on the Irkade, $14.99. So if it looks good to you, definitely give it a shot.
So now I'm going to have to buy it on the Irkade, and I'm going to have to buy it on the Switch.
Oh, here we go, him crying the blues again.
Yes, I'm going to cry. It is on Switch. I seen the demo, and I was like, this is kind of like playing 1946 or something like that, where it's a lot of 1942, sorry, with a lot of explosions going on, and like being the vertical scroller that it is. But it reminded me like of Contra, because constantly moving, but definitely Metal Slug. It was 100%. And I'm like, yes, I love those types of games.
Well, you can't go wrong with the Metal Slug style of gameplay. You just can't.
Well, you can.
Well, will they include the slowdown? Will they include all the slowdown that I'm so loving in Metal Slug?
The bogginess in Metal Slug 2, is that what you're talking about?
That's what makes it retro. That's when the processor doesn't keep up with it.
And then they pass. When it slows down, I can keep up with the game.
And then they pass it off as, oh yeah, we intended it to be that way. And it's like
authentic.
Not back in the day. So that, I know that's off topic, but when you have a system that's $900 and some 20 years ago, and you have slowdowns in your game, You got problems. I'm sorry.
It was still cutting edge at the time. I'll give it. Metal Slug, the Neo Geo, was $7.99, and actually that's one system I didn't buy back in the day. But I was at Babbage's, pulling up my credit card.
Yes, I remember Babbage's.
Good old Babbage.
I'm surprised you didn't buy it and put it in a bag.
I didn't. Well, did you guys see? You must have, because you told me about it.
Yeah.
There's very special bags out there.
Well, wait. I thought you were going to start marketing this because
I'm not, but I think it should be. Do you happen to have that?
Let me peruse for it because somebody sent it to me through my Tech Buzz comments on
Thursday. I think it was Thursday
on
Thursday,
Facebook.
Steven pings me and sends me an image. Goes, Glenn, I want you to see this because someone must have marketed something here. And I saw it, and first of all, I bust out laughing for about 15 minutes because I thought it was hysterical. Number one, but number two, as hysterical as it is, it's a freaking great idea.
Did I send it to you in our group chat, or did I send it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in our group chat.
Let me see if I can find it because
I mean, when you think of that, we live on a water planet to begin with rain.
Water planet.
Yeah, this is a water planet with all this rain. This is absolutely genius. It's a genius.
So why didn't you think of it?
Because I'm not a genius. However, this idea was.
All right, you ready? Is everybody ready for
let's
this?
bring this up. This is $1 billion idea here. Billion. Not my idea though.
Now wait, we gotta go. I think we gotta go. Whoops, we gotta go this way, right here. There it is.
The Glenn's Retro Show official shirt bag. I mean, what a fantastic idea! Look at this. You can go out on all your dates. You can go to the prom. You can go to your company, black tie affair, wearing a Glenn's Retro Show official shirt bag. Can you go out to the picture with him wearing it? Look at that. That is styling. That is styling. That's amazing. This has got, maybe do a Kickstarter on this. This has got to happen.
Who is this? Was it Mr. Chip that did this, right?
Mr. Chip.
Mr. Chip did this.
He did this, man. I'll back him from here tomorrow and back. That is $1 billion idea, my friends.
Yeah, he sent it to us on Twitter, and Glenn never responded because he doesn't get on Twitter that often. And I'm like, Glenn, you got to see this. It was hilarious.
Multi-purpose, all seasons type of clothing attire.
It is. You can make two kinds. You can make the clear kind. You can make the dark kind in case you're on a bad date. You need to, put the bag over.
Oh wow!
So it can be it can be dual purpose. Dual purpose.
Oh my! On that note, let's take a quick break and thank some of our sponsors here, and we're gonna come back and talk some Nintendo Direct and some other things. Guys, stay with us. We'll be right back.
This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
All right, guys, we've regained our composure.
I got whipped.
He got flogged. He didn't get whipped. You do realize we're on the radio, right?
Whoa, on the radio. Glenn's Retro Show and Doug and Steven are on the radio.
I think you like doing that. I'm sure they would. Maybe they'll have you do.
Well, you got to realize.
Voiceovers.
I mean, you guys know what I do for a living. This is This is my opportunity to
your outlet.
It is.
Well, if you guys have to leave, if you guys got to leave at any point, not that we're asking you to leave, but if you do, you can head on over to Basics, BASIX, broadcasting.com for Basics Radio. Download the app so you can listen to it on the radio station. They do classic rock as well as other talk shows. Most of my shows are on here as well, but right now we're live on there, so you can go listen. It's also apparently it's on Amazon too, but I haven't done anything with that. I have my own Amazon app that you can watch live. But anyways, thank you for allowing us, even with Glenn, to be on the station.
Retro buzz killed the radio star. The retro buzz killed the radio star. I can go all night.
Oh, please don't.
We will pay you to stop.
On that note, Doug, take us into the Nintendo Direct that happened this week.
Okay. Where do you want to start? You want to talk?
Well, I'll start playing the video so we can go in. Okay. I know there was some Kirby stuff. There's some other cool stuff that
Yeah. So the big two things that really people are chatting about right now is, number one, they announced an animated Super Mario Brothers movie.
Sega!
They announced.
Sorry.
They announced
getting a little excited.
The voice acting cast for that, which obviously people will have opinions one way, shape, or the form. But Chris Pratt is going to be voicing Mario. Charlie Day is going to be Luigi. What's her name? I always forget her.
I forget her name too.
Anya
Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy. You may have known her from the Netflix show, a chess show, Queen's Gambit, I believe it was called. She was in that as well. Bowser is going to be Jack Black. Keegan-Michael Key is going to be Toad. Seth Rogen's going to be Donkey Kong. And Fred Armisen is going to be Cranky Kong. Kevin Michael Richardson is going to be Kamek. I mean, it's got a good cast.
Good people. They do.
Yeah, they really do have a good voice acting. A lot of people are obviously probably obsessing more so over Chris Pratt as Mario than anything. I think that's, for whatever reason, people are just
how could you do picture him
Chris
back
Pratt?
On The Office when he was heavy. He would be Mario when he was back then.
I mean, I'm of the just, wait and see type of thing. And it's an animated movie. It's not like you have to see Chris Pratt walking around with this giant bushy mustache or anything like that. So that's exciting, but it doesn't come out until 2022. I think December 2022. So it's got a ways to go. But
they can't surpass the original Mario Brothers movie. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I said. They can't do worse than the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo famous.
Oh, come on, that was a classic.
Movie. Hey, my name is Mario. That's my name, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a documentary about that movie, just about how much of a mess it was and how they literally. Bob Hoskins has said in multiple interviews that he drank daily just to get through it because they were rewriting the script daily on the fly. The director didn't know what he was doing. It was just a mess. And it, as a child, when that came out, watching it, I was like, this has like nothing to do with Mario Brothers. Like, there's little snippets and bits and pieces of the Mario lore, but as a whole, it was not the Mario Brothers movie.
As a whole, it was a whole.
But you got to admit, this was a good Nintendo Direct. I mean, Nintendo Directs have been kind of lame the last couple months, right?
Yeah, and they caught a lot of people by surprise. There was a lot of predictions. People always love to try to predict this because then they can go on the internet and say, look at me, I'm the all-knowing, all-seeing Swami. The big prediction people were making was, they're going to release Game Boy games for Switch Online. Well, Nintendo chose to go a little bit, outside the box and surprise everyone completely.
Sega!
Because, they announced they're going to do Switch Online plus expansion. They were a little vague on some of the details, but they're going to have new Nintendo 64 games, and I say new. They're going to add Nintendo 64 games.
But aren't they going to
Genesis classics?
Aren't they upscaling them though? I thought I read somewhere where they were upscaling them, or is that not happening?
It indirectly has to be upscaled to play on the Nintendo.
But I meant like they were going to refine it. Maybe the upscale wasn't a good term for it. They were going to make it
HD remastered.
Is that what it's called? Okay, HD remastered. Is that true?
They're not completely remaking these games.
Okay,
but there will be online connectivity and multiplayer for some of these games.
Ooh.
They didn't really spell that out, but they did list a couple of the games that are going to be coming, and they also teased some other ones that are going to be coming in the future for Nintendo 64. Right out of the gate, they said Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox, Yoshi's Story, Ocarina of Time, Winback Covert Operations, Dr. Mario 64, Sin and Punishment, and Mario Tennis 64. And they also said future titles that they're looking to roll out later on would be Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X. So a lot of great Nintendo 64 games coming. And they also said, hey, not only are we doing doing Nintendo 64 games and Sega Genesis games, we're going to sell you first-party wireless peripheral controllers as well. So you can get a wireless Nintendo 64 controller, which I'm all for.
Yep.
You obviously have to be a Switch Online member first to be able to purchase those. They're going to run you $49.99. This whole Switch Online Plus expansion is what they're officially dubbing it. It's supposed to come out in the end of October, and they're going to release more details because they didn't release the price. They didn't really go into any details. They just said, hey, this is going to be our new revamped version of Switch Online. It's going to be different, but we're not going to tell you how much. As of right now, Switch Online only costs you $20 for an entire year, so it's economical. So, yes, Nintendo, they are the masters of getting you to buy the same thing you've already bought multiple times, and they are going to masterfully pull it off yet again, because we're going to be paying an extra fee to play these games that we've already bought multiple times or we already own already.
I'm all over this.
They have to have subliminal messages in these games because you're right, Doug. You'll go crazy to buy the thing 15 times. You will. And you want more.
Only 15 times?
Well, for you guys, I am immune.
Yeah.
Because my Switch is still in a box.
So I missed...
But on the bright side, I mean, we are getting, to a degree, functionality we've never got before. It's like the ability to play Mario Kart online with your buddies. Like, yes, there's other non-official ways that you could do this currently, but the thought of being able to do it officially and, you know, through and the Switch and having voice chat and all that type of thing sounds great. One thing I was a little perturbed about, and this is just customary, this is how the cookie always crumbles, is you notice the Sega controller they showed, the wireless gamepad, which oh man, it feels very sacrilegious to see Nintendo selling an official Sega Genesis controller. But
how things have fallen, man.
It's the 3-button style for America.
Yep.
Come to find out, Japanese customers are going to be able to get the far superior 6-button Sega Genesis wireless controller. So if you want that, which if you're a Sega fanboy like myself, you probably prefer. Yeah, $50, but it's, I mean, nobody else is making it. And it, obviously, they can charge a premium because they're the only ones doing this. But
it's weird.
If you want that 6-button controller,
the N64 controller, I can see paying that. That Sega one, it doesn't seem right paying that amount for that controller.
But it's wireless.
All right, so let's talk about this real quick.
Cut the cord; it makes it wireless.
The Castlevania Advance Collection. This has been out though, because I bought, or is this a different one? Like I bought
it again, Steven.
No, but I bought it on the Switch. I bought the Castlevania. It's got like Castlevania 1, 2, 3, and 4.
You bought the limited run, like
the one from Nintendo online. It was all downloadable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've had several different collections of Castlevania games. So, have you bought all these games before? Quite possibly.
Yeah, I have them on my shelf.
Will you do it again? Yes, like I said, Nintendo masters of getting you to buy the same old, and making you feel good about it for the most part.
Dude, there's nothing more that I want to do than give Nintendo more of my money for the same game. So a game where we used to sit there and go, "Wow, $30 for this game isn't bad," but I own it 8 times.
Yeah. I mean, they sold people cardboard for a solid year with their Labo stuff. So, I mean, you unboxed a box to put together a cardboard box, and you paid $80 to do it. I mean, if you can pull that off as a company, then my God, you're literally printing money at that point.
So, okay.
They got my picture up there.
So $20, I have the year for that. I'm thinking that if they do it for even another $20, I'm going to do it because I want those sick. Here we go again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, online Streets of Rage 2 with your buddies, you know.
Yeah.
Granted, yet again, they didn't spell out which games, but you can look at the Sega titles they listed. Almost all of them are very fun multiplayer / multiple players simultaneous type of thing. Golden Axe. So I would make the safe assumption that those are the type of games that are going to be online. Being able to play Streets of Rage 2, Golden Axe, Mario Kart, all these multiplayer friendly games.
So, Glenn, real quick, can you read the super chat from Console Fanboy? I don't want to pull it up over top of Doug while we're cutting through the.
I don't see it.
It's because you're not on my chat, right?
That's right. I'm on my own channel, my friend.
All right.
Real quick, does Chris Pratt look like a crazy old Santa Claus and a wino under a bridge? What's going on there?
Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention. Yes, Charles Martinet will have several cameo. They didn't say which characters he'd be, but currently Charles Martinet, if you're not familiar with him, voices the vast majority of the Nintendo game characters, Mario, Luigi.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, he voices 80% of the Mario world as it is right now. So I love the fact that they're incorporating him. They're not saying, hey, by the way, we're going to make this huge Hollywood big budget movie and we're not going to include you any way, shape, or form, even though you've literally carried the Mario flag for most of your career.
Yeah, so Rainwater Games.
So right, we would not do that.
Rainwater Games is like, I'm so glad I'm not the only ones that thought Nintendo cardboard thing was stupid. My son
knows. Yeah, Wolfenose says Charles Martinet not being Mario is heresy, though. So I mean, yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow. And it's like, hey, guy, that we've built our brand around your amazing voice acting and lovable, voice work and everything. We're gonna replace you with the Jurassic Park guy. No hard feelings, but he sells tickets, and you get why they do that. They try to get names on the marquee because it's an animated movie. You can't sell their faces. You sell their voices and their name recognition. So I get it, but that's a tough one.
I get it, but we don't have to like it.
Sure.
And like Console Fanboy says, we just gotta all get along.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to. I'm trying to find your super chat, bud.
He wants to do a Hadouken in the movie.
It's got to be in here somewhere.
I made the mistake years ago when I heard a casting announcement that I was like, oh, I can't believe they're going to do that. That doesn't make any sense. And I so ate my words. So ever since then, I've learned to just, hey, judge it when it comes out. Because when they first announced Heath Ledger as the Joker, I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And then, oh, man, did I eat those words or not? So I just shut up now and just judge things once they come out to the the big screen.
I thought you were going to talk about me in the Toxic Avenger Part 2, but Heath Ledger was good too.
No, I thought you were excellently cast.
Guy number 17 eats piece of watermelon.
You could have been guy number 14, but that's 17 true. Was really more more your acting legs. Really showed your range, Glenn.
I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. If you're not aware, we're totally being serious. Glenn is actually in that movie.
I am. And Part 2 and Part 3. Actually, on the Sci-Fi Channel, a lot more. Because they took stuff that was on the cutting room floor and said, we got to fill up some filler. Oh, this guy over here, we'll put it back in here. We'll throw it back in there. So, yeah, I was in there. Yep. I was also on Hollywood Squares. See if anyone could find me in that. But I was.
He was. Speaking of a retro show coming back, Doug found some interesting news that has to do with WWE, which I'm still shaking my head. So, Doug, take us home on this one.
I mean, it's a head scratcher, but it also makes sense when you think about it. So apparently, news broke that WWE is partnered with MGM to do an American Gladiators reboot, and they're going to obviously try to incorporate some of their wrestling talent. One would think as the Gladiators. I mean, WWE is a massive entertainment company. Obviously, they're also trying to sell their own program, so it makes sense that they could kind of like cross promote. Say, hey, you see these amazing athletes that are smashing these common folk and these physical challenges. Well, you can also watch them on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, all that type of thing. So it would make sense. They've got the money to back this. As you can see in this article, like Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, they tried to get this off the ground as another reboot in 2018. Unfortunately, failed to shop it around and get anybody to bite. WWE has a big partnership with Fox now, so I can really see this probably actually making it out to the television stations and actually being greenlit to be a show. They tried to do it back in 2008, and I remember specifically Hulk Hogan was one of the hosts, so to speak, and I think Gina Carano, if you're familiar with Mandalorian or her MMA career, that's where she kind of came from, or got more notoriety and notice, was being a gladiator in that 2008 reboot. But it was a fantastic show in the 90s. I was a sucker for it. I thought it was the greatest thing. But if you're going to bring in these WWE wrestlers, you got to give them stupid gimmicky names like Thunder and Blaze and Turbo. I don't want to hear their WWE names. I want to see those stupid cheesy 90 names.
I can't. The last thing I want to do is see a bunch of old WWE superstars pretending to be American Gladiators against normal.
I would not say that to their face, Steve. Just saying.
I don't think they're going to use the older talent. I think you'll see the younger talent.
I can see it now. Bill Goldberg down there holding the pad, and everybody yelling Goldberg, gold, and I'd be sitting there at home going, Oldberg, Oldberg. I'm like, seriously.
Yeah.
But I mean, the original American Gladiators was good, though. The original.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys need to go back and look at it. American Gladiators. I'll pull it up here real quick.
Yeah. I mean, it was
awesome.
I forget how many years it ran consecutively. I want to say at least 6 years on network television. Had a Nintendo game. I had action figures, posters. I mean, it was a part of, the American culture for a long time in the 90s, partially due to its over-the-topness. Like I said, you had all these physical specimens, these bodybuilders, just destroying average Joes. I'm sure the waiver for that would read much different than it would today.
Lace. You gotta say Diamond.
Yeah,
oh,
I mean,
Gemini,
yeah, Laser, Blazer, and Taser. They got really uncreative for a
Zap.
while.
Oh, Zap! I totally forgot about Zap.
Yeah,
I remember they had trading cards.
He looks like Ricky Dragon's Steamboat Nitro,
100%, especially with that headband.
Yep.
But it was great. I mean, we talked about this previously with the Frogger Show. People like to see people get hurt and get in these physical challenges. So seeing the average Joe get smacked around in the head with a padded joust, that was always my favorite challenge because people really got wrecked on that one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we got to forgive Amy here. So she's like, I was born in 1993. I'm only 27, boys.
Okay.
Now you really make us feel old.
Look at that hair.
I was already there, so ha to you too.
Yeah.
No, but this was a fun show. I used to watch it Saturday mornings when I got up. I'd watch WWE wrestling.
I say it was on Fox.
Yeah, well, no, it was on Channel 13, New York, where I lived. It was, and they played WWE. Well, then it was WWF Wrestling Challenge, and then they would play American Gladiators. We used to get mad. We're like, we want more WWF. We don't want to watch this, but we did watch it because my dad liked it.
Wolfano says we need to have a "Where Are They Now" with all these folks, and it's funny you say that because I also read that ESPN has actually done already a 30 for 30 documentary on the show. So I'm sure we'll see some follow-ups to a lot of these people, and I'm sure some of them probably have sad endings, and some of them probably just, hey, I went and became a middle school teacher afterwards or something.
But
like that.
This was like their attempt at competing with professional wrestling. It really was. It was
professional wrestling. I mean, it was just over the top. It was like watching a comic book come to life. And you could be in the studio audience. So it was like, a big performance.
Now looking back on this,
they're dead.
People are dead. Now looking back on this, I can't believe we watched this.
Oh, I can't. Like, Wolfano's is joking that I'm going to be on the show. I would pay money to be a contestant on that.
Oh, I'd love to watch you. Like, I'd like to see you on American Ninja Warrior.
That'd be fun. American Ninja Warrior is kind of rough though. They don't pay the athletes, and people don't realize it. A lot of times, those athletes when they're running, it's like 4 a.m. The people that are actually getting paid are the studio audience. They're actually paid extras because they literally filmed the show at like 4 a.m. in Las Vegas. So the only people that are actually making any money are the people sitting in the crowd, and the people that are trying to compete on the show are just basically getting.
I told the boys
for a ride.
I told the boys we need to set up this show like the old Game Pro show. Do you guys remember the show Game Pro?
From the 90s.
With JD Roth and I forget the other guy, but he used to be like, "Yeah, this is gnarly, dude."
This is totally tubular. This is the best thing ever.
I used to watch
shaky cam work because that was the 90s. Everything was all like just bobbing and moving and zooming in and zooming out. But yeah, this was your Tips and Tricks magazine on the internet / on not the
there it is.
Internet.
Look at that.
But
Look at that outfit. My God.
That green screen work is phenomenal. Yeah, the cuffed jean shorts, the jorts. Yeah.
This guy got swirlies at my school. If he came in like this, he was getting a swirly.
It was good. It was a good show. Like they did SWAT, secret weapons and tactics.
Yeah, I mean you learned some cool stuff. It was just hard to catch it most of the time. It's like this is like pre-TiVo and DVR type of stuff. So look
at the quality, guys. This is standard definition, baby. This was.
Oh, it looked great on a CRT at 8 o'clock in the morning as you're eating a bowl of tricks, man. It was great.
But I'm telling you, you want the standard definition. Look at that guy. You want
Brennan Howard.
Oh, is that who it was?
Co-host. Yeah. Thank you, Tony Common.
I mean, listen, it was for its time, but like talk about like bad green screen work.
Totally tubular. You guys want to rat out on a password? We'll give it to you right now. Flip that jazz. This is so great.
Now, if you're running and jumping over this pit, remember there's a boss over here to the left, and make sure you don't get smoked by him.
I mean, you got to remember at this time, there were still like hotline tip numbers. Like people were calling 1-900 numbers and paying like $9 a minute to talk to a Nintendo expert to walk them through, you know.
I remember that. Like you called the Nintendo hotline.
The 1-900 number by mistake.
I bet you did. Mistake.
Oh, that
I
went.
meant to call the Game Pro hotline, but the girl answered. I didn't know.
That just went.
We'll just let that sleeping dog lie.
We need to keep this handy.
Yeah.
Ow! Ow, you zapped me. That's not fair.
Arcade Amy says, "You're funny, Glenn. Don't encourage him, Amy. Please. Don't encourage him."
Thank you, Arcade Amy.
Well, it's been a busy week here in the gaming world. And there's still a lot of stuff that we didn't cover because, I mean, we only have an hour show, and you got to get your Glenn entertainment. So it's one of those things.
Absolutely. It's a prerequisite.
But yeah. So let me ask you guys before we wrap this up, guys in the chat, do you like the show at the later time? We kind of enjoy it. I feel like I'm not rushed getting off of work, and I get to eat dinner beforehand. You guys in the chat room, are you enjoying the new time as opposed to 6 p.m. Eastern and now being 8 p.m. Eastern for you West Coasters who get to watch it now?
And we assume for the Super Game Room dudes too, you know.
Yeah, I think they're going live tonight.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I think
Doug's dying over there. Doug is dying.
He fell off the chair. He fell off the chair. Man down.
Swing water and it went down the wrong pipe, so I had.
See what water does to you? Water can kill you. Look at my basement. Water is bad.
I mean, water can kill you, but all right, down the hatch one more time.
They say yes, keep it. They like it. They like the time. I'm good either way. I like it. Yes. Well, that gives us. You get back to back. You get you get us, and then you get to go over and harass P-Dubs. So I mean, it's a win-win. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Mr. Doug Smith, youtube.com/Mr. Cool Toy. Well, not really Mr.
Pleasure as always. Yeah, it's Mr. to you, not really.
Yes,
you can call me whatever. You can call me Gary. I don't care.
Just don't call you late for dinner because your wife will kill me. She won't kill you. She'll kill me. So we got to end on time
words
here.
Have never been spoken. Yeah.
Also, Mr. Glenn Planamento, I'm sure he's going to have a video later this week on what's in that box. You guys will get to see firsthand.
If I can find my camera, I don't know where anything is. That's the problem right now. But I do want to give a quick shout out to Al Everett. I think it's Everkman.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I mean, this is not the good one. It's actually inside here. If I go up real quick, I know we're pressed for time, but I do want to show it. I mean, this thing, I thought he did a phenomenal job.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. It's beautiful.
You got a
Blue looks so happy. I love it.
Yeah, it's what it ought to look like in 15 years or 20 years. So it's like great.
Obviously, he hasn't looked in the mirror lately, so.
Yeah, Glenn, I mean, you clearly hold up well, so that's great.
I don't look like that yet. What are you talking about? But Blue looks like that. That's 15, 20 years. I'll look like this. I know it. Yeah. But thank you so much.
YouTube.com/GPlanamento. Really appreciate it. And guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Head on over to the boys over in the South. Make sure you give them an extra hard time just for us. Just do it. It'll make my night. Not Michael B or any of the other guys. Just P-Dubs.
No.
Just P-Dubs.
Just
P-Dubs. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week for more of the Retro Buzz. Keep it buzzing.